Appreciate being you guys. Good seeing you guys again.
Coach, we're going to put you over here with Batesy.
Batesy, my boy.
Oh, boy.
Long time no see. Good to see you.
How you doing, Coach? Good to see you.
Y'all have time to eat yet?
We did. It's all right. Good start. I stumbled across the tape on his when you get too forced, you hear people say, "I'm a man amongst sport." That's what it is. Can we draw some X's and O's here? Just little. Keep it simple. Okay. How do you want me to lead you into that? What do you want?
Coach, what was the first play you called?
Roll.
Your first year in Florida, 19.
Wow.
Okay. Shane Matthews.
All right.
Now, this way, it's a little bit.
I like that.
There you go. Right in there. Beautiful. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, you roll in there, Bates.
All right, Coach. Well, Coach, one thing you used to always say to us at Florida, let them boo you. It means they respect you. If they don't boo you, then they don't respect you. And you guys, congratulations on getting booed more and more and more at South Carolina. 11-win seasons will do that to you.
Well, yeah, they're starting not to like us, which is good. But I remember really our first few years at Florida, nobody disliked us very much. And then we started winning a bit, winning some conferences, and then they didn't like us very much.
Well, we want to do something special today and have you draw a little bit. And let's go way back to the Florida days, and let's go to 1990. There in the swamp. How about, because I'm guessing you're back home, you've had so much success at Duke, and now you come back home, and it's been on your mind for a long time, kind of like building up to this year, your very first ball play that you called in the swamp. Would you?
Okay, James, I'll tell you what it was. Shane Matthews was our quarterback, and we were playing Oklahoma State, and I think we had a pretty good return. I always like to draw the hashes here. And we were about, I think, our 30, 35 or so. We got in like a little trick formation here, and they always play cover 3 against that, Oklahoma State. We had a pretty good game plan. They, 4 short and 3 deep. So they're sitting there like that. We were under center back in these days. And we ran this guy over here in the flat. We just ran that guy deep, And our Z guy, I think it was Arnie Mills, he'd come up in here and gets about 18, 20 yards right there wide open. So Shane goes back and hits him. And then we had another little play. We hit a guy over the middle and went down there and scored within the first 2 minutes. And our fans thought, we're going to score in the first 2 minutes, and there's a game. And so that was a good start for us. We did score 50 that game against Oklahoma State. But we didn't score 50 all the time. But that one worked just like Shane, and we enjoyed that. Sometimes when you know the coverage that the team's playing, it's easy to draw them up. But when they start disguising them, which they do now, it's not near as easy as it used to be.
Well, to score 50, you must have had one heck of a defensive coordinator over there stopping them. Huh?
Oh, we had ball players in 90, 91.
Yeah.
Very good.
What was the
I
guy's name?
inherited a heck of a team down there. And, the defense was 3rd in the nation in 1989, and we turned 8 starters. And I came to this meeting right here and told the guys our goal is to win the SEC. And they said, "Is this loud enough? The guy from Hoover. I'm trying to win the SEC." I said, "I got ball players. We got ball players before." And we did. And then we found Shane Matthews. So we were able to win it 90 and 91. And then there was a little drop off. And then we got that. So you guys came 93, 4, 5, 6, and so forth.
So that's one thing Jim Bates never told me is they got 8 starters to turn for a great defense.
Yeah,
I didn't
that was
realize
coordinated.
that.
It was pretty easy. Yeah.
Well, now this year it's almost now. We sat down and we just talked with Jadeveon Clown, a guy who just to keep in state, Marcus Lattimore, on and on and on. These guys are starting to stay home. All this talent there in your home state, and the depth that you have now. When you lose, if you really look at it, you lose Nate Sanders, you lose a TJ, you lose a Marcus on the offensive side, you lose Devin on the defensive side, a DJ. To replace those guys any other year seems like it would really be tough, but you really feel like you've got some pieces to fit right in and continue?
Yeah, we have recruited well, and the players are staying in school now. Gosh, last year I think we had something like 9 fifth-year players. Very seldom ever happens at universities now. Guys stay for every one of them graduated and so forth. So our program is what you'd like to have. Guys stay, they graduate, if they're good enough to go to the NFL, we've been sending them there also. But recruiting the best guys in our state has been a big key. I think we're starting with Stephon Gilmore, #1 round NFL pick in Buffalo 3 years ago. And then after him, Alshon Jeffrey, and Marcus Lattimore, and then Jadavion, and then a whole bunch of other players also. But those guys were all Mr. Football. Our receiver there now, Shaq Roman, was also in the state of South Carolina. And some guy told me recently, he said, one reason Coach sort of beat Georgia and Tennessee now is like 3 guys from South Carolina used to go to Tennessee, and about 3 used to go to Georgia. And now they're staying home. And so it adds up over the years that, you know, we got a lot of pretty good ball players.
You mentioned Jadavion Clowney, obviously #1 guy in the nation coming out of high school. Is he the best football player in the nation right now going into this football season?
Well, he could be. I hate to say the best. There's a lot of good ones out there. But he is a force, and he's the type of player that the other team's offense, they always got to say, where's Clowney? If we're throwing the ball and we need a little time, they got to put an extra guy out there to help out. So he's a force out there. Of course, our job as defense coaches is to move him around a little bit, to mix it up, and not let him know where it's coming from all the time.
You mentioned Shane Matthews, your first quarterback there at Florida, who came from truly nowhere to get that starting spot and had such a phenomenal start for you and him. Danny Warfel, these guys, these one quarterback that you knew you had for a while and you just ran with it and had so much success. 2 quarterbacks going in, that is the way it's going to be. It's going to be Connor and it's going to be Dylan. You excited about that? Does it give you more toys almost to
Well,
play with?
we went to the bowl game like that. How it's going to work out during the course of the year, I don't know. But the last year that we won a conference there at Florida, Rex Grossman and Jesse Palmer rotated around. One of them, Rex would go hot as he could be, and then he'd go bad a little bit. Jesse would come in. Jesse sprained his ankle. Rex came back, and so forth. So each of them sort of won 4 games, and we were 8-1 that year in 2000 to win the SEC. So I don't know how it's going to play out. We don't want to go back and forth during the course of the game. But Connor he's a player that can play running back or wide receiver, so they could be in there at the same time. And we might try to just line both of them right behind center and see if the other team figure out which one will snap to. You ever seen that?
That's Emory Henry type stuff.
Well, a little bit.
So he can run the ball, and he can throw the ball, and he can parachute as well.
He can parachute.
What did you think when you heard that? He just landed from a parachute.
Yeah, I saw his picture. I think he had it in a local paper there. He wanted to go up and jump out with the guy. So that's complete faith in the guy that ties on with you and you parachute down with. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that someday. I think that would be fun. That would be a thrill.
Before we let you go, you know, we've talked about Florida quite a bit. This kind of, it's where you started as a player and you did so much for the SEC, for the University of Florida. And it was so interesting. Early on, that Tennessee game came. I mean, as we're sitting here a month out, everybody knew that Tennessee game was on us, and whoever won that game was in the driver's seat and probably going to go on and win the SEC championship. You've almost got a new Tennessee and this Georgia right there off the bat. I know you've got North Carolina first, but having that Georgia game so early, it really makes it interesting, and it really puts some pressure on everybody to make sure they're prepared going in.
Yeah, but it's a little different now, James, because us and Georgia are not the 2 best teams in the conference. Maybe not. Who knows till we play it all out. But back then, in '96, us and Tennessee were probably the 2 best. So if they won the game, they had the driver's seat, maybe win the SEC. And I don't think they lost another conference game the rest of that year. Fortunately, we didn't either. But we've beaten Georgia, but then they come back and win the rest of them the last 2 years. So give those guys credit. Even though they got beat early, they bounced back and won the rest of their conference games. Went to Atlanta and almost beat Alabama last year.
Well, I'll give a little tip of the visor, if you will, before you do go. And that's early in the season. Late in the season, you've done a great job against a team that you really need to beat in Clemson. I know you're proud of your record against the Tigers.
Well, it's neat. We have a chance at 4 championships. Your division, your conference, and then we have the in-state game with the upstate team Clemson for the state championship.
You still draw your pyramid?
And then a bowl game after that. So almost every SEC school has a shot at maybe 4 4 championships. Florida has Florida State, they have a little trophy for that team, and so forth. Georgia Tech. So, yeah, we've been fortunate against those guys, and hopefully that will continue.
All right, Coach, and you know what? And it all used to happen on the board. Coach would have a pyramid, and he'd come in when we achieve a goal. Well, got that one. Got it, and we build it up. Coach, thank you very much.
Yeah, we still do that.
Good to see you, Coach.
We talked about it. Yeah, we'll probably workers.
Picture together. Picture together. Hey, Coach.
All right, Coach, thanks so much.